Hey everybody, welcome back to Matt and Stu Review, where we're taking a look at your favorite toys from yesterday and today. Stuart, what do we have on the table?
Today, we're going to take a look at Senshi from Action Force Series 5 from the Valaverse line of toys.
All right, I've never heard of an Action Force. What is Action Force?
So Action Force actually started as the European license for G.I. Joe back in the 80s. It was the umbrella brand that G.I. Joe sold under in the 80s, eventually kind of took on its own life and became its own property with its own comic book and all like UK-based IP.
Yeah, so this is all back then, like back in the 80s and like, whatever, Cold War time.
Exactly.
I guess GIs are not as popular in Europe, maybe?
Different licensing things. Yeah, who wants the red, white, and blue G.I. Joe,
Right.
if you're in England?
Sure. Well, what about now? So, like, obviously this is a modern figure. Are they just rebranding G.I. Joe stuff, or is it its own thing now?
So Action Force is now owned by a former toy designer named Bobby Valla, who bought the license. It was kind of languishing, in limbo. G.I. Joe had eventually come over to Europe, as its own brand.
Okay.
So the Action Force license was kind of languishing out there. Bobby Valla bought it, and he's been doing a new, like, modern warfare sort of line of figures.
So this one looks like it's really packed with a lot of features here, a lot more than like the most recent G.I. Joe figure we looked at. Let's take a look at what he's got in the box.
Yeah, so Senshi comes with 4 sets of hands. One thing about Valaverse is they take their kind of like modern warfare, realistic, sculpting and stuff really seriously.
Okay.
I put his C hands over there, which he comes with so he can, hold a rifle properly.
Uh-huh.
We've seen G.I. Joe figures come with maybe 4 hands, 2 sets of hands,
Okay.
but coming with 8 hands, 4 sets of hands is really cool.
Yeah.
Another cool feature of the line is everything on that figure is removable. So from his tactical vest, like his shoulder pads, you could strip him down and have like a really bare, just, kind of jumpsuit figure.
He's got helicopter action too.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that hand.
Uh-huh. I mean, like you're saying, though, it looks like he's very action-packed with as far as all the features on the figure itself. Lots of cool pieces and parts.
Yeah, before you
Helmet,
take his helmet off
face
there,
mask.
you can actually switch his little emblem. He can either have an emblem or he can have his...
his nods, his night vision goggles.
Exactly.
Yep, so he's
Which
got
I
the
think is
nods.
pretty cool.
That's cool. All right, and then he can get a little more samurai warrior here.
Yeah, he's got the samurai mask to go with either.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool.
You can also pull just the mask part off, keep the helmet on.
Okay.
So it's a very customizable figure. I feel like the Valaverse figures like value play in their figures, so they really want to give you like a lot of play features. Actually, mentioning that, I thought it was kind of cool that the Action Force figures in the style of old G.I. Joe figures actually come with a card. It's all in English. It's all about that character. It's not just a bunch of disclaimers, don't put it in your mouth kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely hitting that like G.I. Joe vibe from back in the days. Like, I wasn't even a big G.I. Joe fan, but I recognized that like thing probably just from the toy aisle when we were kids.
Hey, I usually just throw packaging out, but I took the time to cut this out because I thought it was kind of a cool thing to keep with the figures. Another thing that Action Force does is they have some sort of like loyalty points program, just like the Cobra points or the G.I. Joe points you used to be able to send away, when you collected enough of them and get some exclusive toys.
So is that actually a thing, or is it just a throwback and like garbage?
I think it's actually a thing. I don't know. I cut it out and I'm going to keep it, and I'll have to get on the website and see, how many I need to save to
to buy your Harrier
get something.
Yeah.
So I've been following Valaverse for a while. I have a couple of their like more basic, just kind of trooper figures, kind of all black with a balaclava as sort of henchmen guys. I'm not a completionist and I don't really collect the line, but when I saw this figure, like I had to have him. There's just something about like a modern samurai warrior that just speaks to me. Like I need every version of a modern samurai warrior.
Okay,
that they make.
I mean, it is cool. I was just kind of like thinking like Valaverse, is there more than just Action Force in this?
He's trying to add more. So Action Force is this modern military line, but I think his idea is to add more and more lines. He's actually trying to buy Exo Squad. I don't know if you remember those toys.
Exo Squad, yeah.
So yeah, he's been wanting to relaunch Exo Squad.
Okay, interesting.
So keep an eye on Valaverse, and we'll see what they come up with.
Well, like he even like had that's his thing, Valaverse.com.
That's his last name. That's his thing. I think he's got a comic book series going with it now. He's like building an IP, you know?
Everything's got to be a verse these days. Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
As far as his figures go, like they're amazing. The face sculpt on this guy is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to have an Asian figure. Like, frankly, you don't see very many Asian action figures. So I like to have him there, you know, to add a little diversity to my collection. I think he may be like an homage to an old G.I. Joe figure that was like kind of a modern samurai guy.
Okay.
And so Valaverse, like, it will dip and kind of cross with G.I. Joe a little bit. He has a character that looks a lot like the female Dreadnought from the G.I. Joe series. That means nothing to you, but
no. What else do you have on the table here? I see a box of some other stuff. Looks like hands.
So when I was ordering this guy, I stumbled upon this hand pack alpha from Valaverse as well, and I had to have it. He comes with 8 hands, but this thing comes with, what, 16 or 20 hands? I mean, you got some flipping the bird hands in there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's like,
you've got the OK,
a complete variety of things. Really cool for posing. You know, you got some 2-finger points. Lots of different fists, hands, pointers, middle fingers, things like that. And then in gloves and bare hands.
Exactly. My hope
What's
is
in the
that
bag?
that's just a couple more that they couldn't fit. So originally I looked at the box here and I was like, wait, I'm missing some hands, but that little bag was hidden behind the blister card.
Interesting. Are they different like sculpts than like? No, they're the same kind of thing. Just more of the same.
They are. I think there's a new version. He's got the C grip and then the new C grip.
Oh, new C grip. Okay.
So
cool.
I mean, another cool thing.
Accessories.
I mean, another cool thing about a small toy company like Valaverse and Action Force is that he is continually improving the figures. Like the Valaverse Series 1 figures are, you know, not as good as the Series 5. So neat to be able to see him progress and make better and better figures.
Yeah, that's cool. It's, you know, a lot of detail in this figure. I'm pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, you should check out his guns. I know you're a gun guy. Some of the guns that you get from like the big company figures will be sort of gummy sometimes, and they'll conform to the hand rather than the hand having to conform to the gun.
Okay.
Valaverse is really good about using hard plastic for their accessories.
Okay, yeah, totally. Okay. All right, well, this is a pretty cool figure. Stuart, what do you rate Senshi on a scale from 1 to 10?
I've got to give Senshi an 8. I think it's a really good figure. I love the articulation. I'd say he'd probably get a 9, but that really loose wrist on that one hand is going to knock him down a point.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to give him a 9. 9 out of 10. Wow, I'm pretty impressed with this one. As you mentioned, I'm more into like the modern warfare-y kind of stuff. So I think I prefer this like style of figure. I think I like all the accessories, very real, like the way you can hold the grip, all the other little pieces and parts that come together for it. Yeah, an all-around pretty cool figure. Yeah. Right. And we want to hear from you. So what forgotten IP or what like property from our youth do you want to see the Valaverse reimagine? Stuart, any thoughts?
Pirates of Darkwater?
What? I don't know what a Pirates of Darkwater is. So hey, that's very forgotten.
How about you?
I'm thinking Garfield and Friends. I think they could really do something with Garfield and all the other weird.
I'd love a Sheldon figure.
Sheldon. I was trying to think of his name. Right.
Thanks for watching. This has been Senshi from Action Force Series 5 from the Valaverse.
All right, and if you like toys and reviews like these, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode.